Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. We are here to talk about Cassie and Diddy case. As you guys know, this is another trial day, and they had Cassie on a stand, and a lot of people are feeling certain ways. So I do have some notes here that I would like to go over with you guys, and I want to give my perspective on the matter. First, I want to give a big thank you to all my supporters out there. I really appreciate it. All right. So let's go here. Let's go here. It's been Cassie attorney. He just came out recently, and a lot of people feel like Cassie credibility is shot. I think so because people had this perspective that Cassie was locked away in a tunnel in the basement and she was drugged every single day and she couldn't go nowhere and she was beaten every single day and she didn't have a life and he controlled her and he forced her, and that was not the correct picture. Cassie has said it was multiple times that she wanted to do the freakoffs and this is what she was about. And also, we were told that Diddy got her when she was 15, 16, 19 and threw her in the closet and kept her for herself. That was not the case either. That was another lie. So I think that when you push these lies and you put 50 on 10 and then we find out that it's not what we thought it was, it's a big surprise. And it's like, hold on here. Let me just digest this, because that's exactly what happened to me. They told me that she was trapped in those tunnels. And we haven't even nobody's talking about the tunnels. Nobody's talking about the pizza boxes. So it's been a lot of lies that's been coming out. What we do know, Cassie said that I believe they met at 19 and the freak offs didn't start until she was 22 years old. Okay, and a lot of people feel like, okay, what does a 19 want with an older guy? You guys don't have anything in common. People say, well, what about love? A 19-year-old don't know nothing about love. If she's easy manipulated at 22 and she has a weak, fragile mind at 22, she don't know anything about love at 19 because she hasn't loved herself. You have to love yourself in order to give that love to someone else. People do feel, and I do too, that she was in love with the lifestyle that Diddy provided for her. I believe that if Diddy was a homeless man and it was just Diddy, she would not be into him. She would not be interested in having any type of situation with him. And I don't think it was a romantic relationship. I think it was more so a transactional relationship. I mean, they were both having sex with multiple people outside of each other. They were both enraged in very nefarious things in Hollywood. When she's not freaking off with Diddy, she was freaking off with different other men by her will. Nobody was forcing her to, and she didn't even live with Diddy. She had her own place that Diddy provided for her. So people was pushing out here she was stuck in the tunnels and she can go anywhere. And then people were bringing up the contract. They said, well, she signed a 10-album contract. And I said, whoa, that sounds horrible. But again, when you are doing adult things, you have to be responsible for it. Do you guys want to pass a ban? 19-year-olds should not be able to sign a contract. I'm sure 50 and 40-year-olds have signed horrible contracts. We have heard about them. But if you're going to get involved in stuff that you don't know about as a 19-year-old, if you don't have that experience, the best thing to do is to get lawyers or attorney or find somebody with experience to go over things before you just sign your soul away. And that's exactly what happened. She was so excited. She just signed her soul away. She didn't have anybody overlook it and do anything because she was so desperate to be in this spot. She was so desperate to be a part of Hollywood. She was so desperate to be all the glitz and the glams. And I think it's a lesson when it comes to girls, because now they're painting the picture that women are just weak-minded and they're easy to be manipulated because they go with their emotions. And I don't feel like that's true with all women. I think that's a horrible, crippling, disabling characteristic that they're placing on women, and I don't think it's going to benefit. every woman is not the same. I know plenty of 19-year-olds that would not even look at Diddy because they're not consumed with Hollywood or they're not consumed with the man with riches and money, you know? So I have a little sister. She's like 19, 20, and she gets grossed out at the thought of a 30-year-old trying to holler at her. Okay. So I'm so proud of her. So everybody is definitely different. Every 19-year-old is different. I believe that uh, people say, she's 19, she was easy to be manipulated, she had a weak, fragile mind. A 40-year-old can still have that same mentality. And you can have 19-year-olds that are very strong-willed. Like some of you all may be very strong-willed. You probably knew at a young age that you would not allow a guy to disgrade you, disrespect you, and you had principles and values. Some parents instilling that to you, and some you chose to have that for yourself. So I think that all this that is coming to light, a lot of people did not know. I didn't know about a lot of things because I was told she was trapped in those tunnels, and that's not the case at all. All right, I'm still asking about the pizza boxes, but Cassie attorney, he came out and today, and he wanted to let you guys know that Cassie is not broken. Okay, and a lot of people in the comment section, they are happy about this because they had like, is her husband going to leave her after hearing all the nasty and gross things that she was involved in? And I never thought so because I think he's a freak too. I think a freak knows a freak. Like they have the same spirit. You know what I'm saying? Diddy hired this Alex guy, and I think majority of people that Diddy hires are more so on a spectrum like him. And then Cassie, she likes, I believe, down low zesty men. I feel like she likes gay men. She likes bisexual men. When I look at her track record, Diddy, DL Man, Kid Cudi, we all see him wear those dresses. We all see him wear those fingernail polish. And that means that he's gay, according to you guys, but something is up, okay? Something is up. All right. And then the other guy, what's his name? Michael B. Jordan. I mean, he's known to date a lot of girls that has been ran through. And I've always questioned about guys that want to invest in girls that's been ran through. To me, I feel like, hey, how you doing? Okay, most guys that are real men, heterosexuals, they don't want a whore. They want somebody they can be proud of. They don't want a woman that has so many D's inside of her. And the thought that this girl that you're kissing just got finished sucking on another man ping ping, and now you're tasting some of the dick residue in your mouth because you're kissing a whore. Okay? And it's Hollywood, so I don't expect anything less. I mean, these are not like your Christian men that are trying to live righteous. These are Hollywood people that worship fame, money, and all that other foolishness, okay? So a lot of people are like, yes, yes, I'm glad that her husband is standing by her side. And I just say, give it some time. Things take some time. I don't think he's going to break up with her if he was going to break up right now because he's going to look like the bad guy, right? And it's $30 million on the line. You don't think he's going to get a cut of that? Hell yeah. Hell, most of y'all would stay for $30 million, clearly. Most people have a prostitute mindset that they can be sold out for millions of dollars. $30 million. Cassie is known to be weak-minded, easy manipulated. You don't think Alex is getting a piece of that? After all, according to the public, she owes her life to Alex because Alex was the one that saved her. So most likely, if she's weak-minded, she might feel like embedded to Alex to give him part of the portions because he was one behind the scenes that was helping everything get it together. And another thing, people are saying that Cassie, she did not want to be on the court. She just wanted to take her money and go, but she was forced to subpoena. She was forced to get on this court, whatever. And I feel that Cassie is being used as a puppet. I do believe that this is a bigger play at hand with the higher elites, and they are using Cassie as a puppet to destroy Diddy because Diddy crossed the line with the higher elites. And I think that is how they play ball. You never see them in the public because the higher elites, you don't know them. They're not to be seen or known, because when you know, that's a weakness. So anybody I feel like that's very empowered, that's a face, most likely they are puppets to a higher power. And I definitely feel that Cassie, in order to get this money that she got from Diddy, she had to make an exchange like she normally does to say, hey, you're going to have to destroy, you're going to have to help us destroy him on the stand, and we make sure you get all the money that you deserve and want, sweetheart, but you're going to have to work for us. And I think that her and Alex, and I think Alex pushed it, say, hey, let's do it. He's our enemy, you know, and that's just how the games crumble. How do I feel about it? I feel no ways about it. I feel like Diddy has been doing horrible things for a long time. He's been fucking people, and now he's getting fucked. So I think that is the game that you play when you're playing with fire. Eventually you will get burned, and that goes from either side of the spectrum. You will get burned when you continually to play on the devil's playground. All right, so that's my thoughts on that. I got a lot of more to say. Okay, hold on. I'm looking through everything. People are also talking about the time where Cassie admits that she was doing a freak-offs and she wanted to do a freak-offs. A lot of people have this idea that she was being forced, and she clearly states out her mouth that she's not being forced, that she really wanted to do these freak-offs because she's just a freaky whore. And I believe her. I mean, when you look at the dances that she does, she's very sexual. She wanted to be like this sexy person. Cassie is not a nun. She's never been a nun. I mean, if she was a nun, she would not want to be a part of Hollywood lifestyle. She would not want to be a part of that realm. She wouldn't be around whores and sluts, but that's what she wanted to be around because that was her lifestyle and those were her people. So a lot of people try to paint her as like this nun that's just so not sexual, and she's just so quiet and she just don't know what to do to herself, and Diddy just pulled her in the streets and just did whatever. That's not the case, okay? So she was doing a freak off, and I guess she called Alex. At the time, Alex was, I guess, her friend or one of her boy toys, because she's always had boy toys on the side with Diddy. And she was, I guess, talking to him on the phone or FaceTiming him while she was in a bed with Diddy. And I think they're all into it. I think that for a man to be okay with a girl having sex with another man while he's on the phone, I mean, that speaks volumes to his character. And I think he's a freak, okay? And I think Diddy was a freak. I think they're all freaks. I mean, clearly they're all freaks, okay? And is anything wrong with that? You be the judge, you know? It seems like the freaks, they get themselves in these criminal situations, and it's just not healthy. You know, when you hear about these freaks, and it's a risky lifestyle. A lot of hurt is involved. And I just feel like it's just not worth it to be in that freaky lifestyle. Sit down somewhere, close your legs and sit down, read a book, okay? Get on your knees and pray, okay? So, and she also admits in this post I'm reading, when Diddy said that Kim Porter was her soulmate, it hurt her. Okay. People push this ideology that Cassie, she's trapped and she hated it there. She hate Diddy. But how could she hate Diddy if she's jealous of other girls and she wanted to be Kim Porter's spot? She was fighting to be the number one whore, you know? That's what it was. I mean, Diddy, he never saw any girl as a wife. First of all, Diddy is not husband material. He doesn't respect himself. I mean, a man that throws himself around here and having all these sexual partners, he doesn't respect himself. He doesn't love himself. He has a lot of hate inside. He don't even know who he is. He really want to be with a man. So he can't love anyone. But people are so blinded by materialistic. People are so blinded by money that that's all they see, because that's what they glorify. That's their God. So they bypass everything else for the glitz, the glam, and the glory and the money. Okay? So I don't feel that he was in love with her. He don't love himself. She was not in love with him. She don't love herself. They were in love with the lifestyle. Both of them, he's very successful in this lifestyle. She is a person that wants to get into that lifestyle. He is a person that wanted to use her for his sexual pleasures because it was secret and he needed to trust someone. And that was the exchange. He used her for sexual pleasures. She used him for the lifestyle that she could never get. Okay. Did they lie to each other? I'm sure they did. They're Hollywood individuals. Of course they lie. Are they going to lie in the courtroom? Yes. I mean, what do you expect? Most people lie in the courtroom. I think that you guys don't understand how this works. This is a battle. This is a fight. Even though they put their hand on the Bible and they say they promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, but all that is a gimmick, is a lie. I mean, a lot of people say they live a Christian lifestyle, but the fruits bear rotten, they bear rotten fruit. But leave it to you guys to believe what everybody says. So I think both sides is going to put 50 on 10 to win their case. I mean, this is a war. Most people in courtrooms, they lie, and it's their job to convince you they're telling the truth. And if you believe they're telling the truth and all nothing but the truth, then they're doing a good job to convince you. I mean, both of these individuals are Hollywood. Okay, they like the movie screen, they're actors, so I'm sure they should do a good job, and it seems like they're both doing okay. And they said they have a long way to go. We got a couple of months in this thing, All right, so let me move on to some notes, okay? Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Gigi with the T. All right, so here it is. It says, these are some of the points that went on in the court today. All right, allegations of 2018 rape is in question. The defense aggressively challenged Cassie, claimed that Diddy broke into her home, okay, and raped her in 2018. All right, now that is what they said. But then when Cassie got on the stand, she backtracked and she stated that he didn't break into her home, but he followed her. He was right behind her, followed her into the home. She had her own home. Okay, she had her own home with Cassie. It felt like Cassie. It was Cassie. She had her own place. She didn't sleep with Diddy every night. She had her own place. She had her own place of worship that Diddy provided for her because she wasn't working. So everything, she didn't have to worry about money or anything because Diddy always provided money for her. I feel like a person that hate that person and despise like they paint, I don't want your money. I don't want anything you have to offer. I'm going to disappear in the wind. If I have to portray myself as a homeless person, I will do that to get away from him. If I have to sneak on a bus and go to a different country and tell my story in Nigeria, I would do that. That's when you really want to get away. But clearly, she did not. People said, well, she suffered from Stockholm Syndrome, So that is, I guess, when someone is abusing you, you end up falling in love with them and things of that nature. And my question is, okay, well, how can this be prevented for the next girl that have that type of illness or syndrome? It all goes into self-love and to have boundaries. But then again, she didn't want to go with Diddy because he loved her. She didn't go to Diddy because he was attractive. It's because she was so consumed with money and power and riches. So I think it goes to that. Don't sell your soul for money, fame, and power. And I think people are doing that exchange. And when they make a deal with Satan, everything is fine in the beginning, but then when he gets wild and everybody warns you it's not going to end well, then they want to say, ha ha ha, cry victim. But I don't feel like she cried victim in this point. I feel like afterwards, because people are saying she couldn't leave. Why can't she just go to her mama house? But she did. Her and Alex, they went to her mom house and they had babies and they stayed there. You know, she left Diddy and she was alive. He didn't put her in the hospital or cripple her. She left when she had enough, and when she decided to be with Alex, they left and they stayed at her parents' house, you know, and everything was fine. But she needed money. So she started to demand money from Diddy. Okay. And Diddy pretty much told her to F off. Like, go ahead, leave me alone. We're done. I'm going to get a new whore. And clearly she had enough. 10 years, she had enough. She didn't want to fight to be the number one whore anymore. She found Alex. She was in transition and changing her life. And I guess Alex and Cassie, they was like, no, I want my money. And then during this time, Diddy was in fights with a big company, Ciroc, or a liquor company or somewhat. And they wanted to tear Diddy down. So what they did was they looked at all the Diddy enemies, people that could not stand Diddy, people that Diddy betrayed. Cassie being the main one, and it's a list of them. It's a list. It's just not Cassie. It's all of them. So they did a deal with all of them, especially with Cassie, to say, "Hey, Diddy ain't gonna give you your money, but we can make him pay up, and we can even put more money on that if you play for us. We need you to help us destroy him." Okay? And I believe that was the name of the game, and that's why we're here. I don't think she wants to be in court, but she has no choice because she made the deal with another devil. And it's typical. I mean, she made the deal with the first devil, which is Diddy, to get certain things. So, I mean, it's life, it happens. So that's my take on that. But there are questions about the grape in 2018 because she said before he broke into the house. Now she said he did not break into the house. He followed her and then graped her. So those are two big things, you know, and how often, if it changes. If one day you say something, the next day you say something, moving forward, are you going to say something different that's again? And then if you're easy to be manipulated, how do we know that the puppet masters that hate Diddy is not pushing you or coercing you to put 50 on 10 to destroy Diddy, which I'm sure they're doing because they have to win the war, okay? This is war to end Diddy, okay? It don't matter what we got to do, whatever necessary, all right? How do I feel about it? I really don't feel any type of way because I feel like everybody in this situation, they made their bed and they have to lie in it. Diddy have done horrible things. He played on the devil's playground for so long. So, you know, a lot of times you're going to get done by the people you do business with and the people that you're close to. And Diddy got done by Cassie, and Diddy got done with the people he did jobs with the Ciroc. You know, it's always the people that you know. It's really never the strangers you really have to watch out for. It's always the inner circle. That's why it's best to be solo, okay? All right. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. So let's get on here. So they presented text messages showing them being friendly afterwards. So people, and Candace Owens, you know, she's big on this. Candace Owens, like, I question women that get graped and then afterwards they go back for more, you know? How do you guys feel about that? I know some people are going to say, you can't blame her. You don't understand. You're projecting. You are projecting your situation because that's what you did to a man that did that to you. And you're feeling like, you know, you and Cassie I understand. I would have did the same thing. You know, I think that's all that was. But I mean, just because you did the same thing doesn't mean that you made a good choice in that either. So let's not go there. How do I feel about it that she goes back? I feel like it's typical Cassie. You know, she wants what she wants. She wants to play in fire once again. And she's going to do what she wants to do. She's a rebel. I mean, am I surprised she's in Hollywood? She want to be around. No, I'm not surprised that she's a rebel. You know, anybody with common sense would have just, I'm pressing charges, or I'm just going to leave you alone. I don't want to see you. Block your number, change. And all this time, she had a time in situation where she could have left. Hell, she just kept coming back because she was infatuated. She called it love. It ain't love. It's infatuation. It's obsession. Okay, y'all are obsessed with people. You guys are obsessed with each other in a deadly toxic way. I see it all the times on these shows that are horrible that you guys love to entertain. You love to entertain violence. All right, so it says text messages contradicts grape claims. Text messages between Cassie and Diddy after the alleged incident show her sending him heart emojis and even meeting for closure dinner, raising doubts about her story. I mean, it's her story, you know. A lot of people are going to believe her because a lot of people have been done wrong by men. A lot of people like to be with men that hate them for whatever reason. I mean, the signs are always there, but they bypass the signs and they continue to be with the man till he does something horrible and he doesn't change. And then all this could have been prevented when you saw the red signs, okay? But they want to do what they want to do. They don't think logical. They want to think in their emotions. And when you in your emotions, you're going to get horrible results. And I'm all about prevention. I just want you to live a good life, you know? When you go through this stuff, they say you're traumatized and you can't live a life anymore. And Terrence Howard says, once you give your man card up, you are destroyed, okay? So I want to prevent all that with some good advice to prevent you from these roads of selling your soul and you can't get yourself back anymore. And of course she got money, but at the same time she's not the same, you know. But she did partake in that, and she wanted to be the number one bitch. It reminded me of a pimp and a whore, like that type of relationship, because you hear prostitutes, they tell these stories all the time. And this is what they sign up for. You know, a lot of prostitutes, well, I don't have a choice. You have a choice. We all have a choice. But you want the fast money, okay? It's plenty of women that prostitution in countries are banned. They cannot do it. And they still survive. You are in America. You are already privileged, okay? Let's stop it, okay? Section 8 is what, $5 a month? Food stamps. I mean, it's so much. It's so much, okay? But let them tell it. They tell a whole different story. And that's why a lot of people are saying a lot of people don't want to be accountable. And when you don't be accountable, you never learn, you never grow. And I can't imagine what the next generation is going to be like. Hell, the generation and the culture here is hell on wheels now, you know. Nobody's happy. Marriage is in the trash. These relationships are horrible. Men and women are fighting every single day. I mean, it's hell. You know, it is hell, okay? We need to bring pro-family back. All right, so let's continue here. It says text messages between Cassie and Diddy after shows. Okay, so what do you guys feel about that? All right, Cassie admits to consensual freakoffs, alleged graped, okay? Despite claiming she was assaulted, Cassie admitted to having consensual freak-offs with Diddy shortly after, even while dating her now husband. All right, I mean, that is so gross. You are engaging in a risky activity, but then you go with different men. I think you already know that shit gonna get passed. But how do I feel if Alex got some shit? That's on him. Because Alex, you already know the lifestyle she lived. I'm sure she pillow talked and tell you everything. Y'all talk like girlfriends. And I think Alex get turned on. He didn't get turned off by the shit. He got turned on by the shit. So, you know, maybe he was playing with his meat, listening and looking at Cassie and Diddy, you know. Like I said, I do believe that some girls, they are attracted to bisexual men. And I think Cassie is definitely one of them. You know, it's their thing, you know. It says, Diddy lawyer highlights freak-off tape scandal. Defense introduced a recording where Jonathan Odie, a male escort, that is so gross, I can't stand these male escorts. Okay, sorry about that. A man selling himself. Allegedly, secretly filmed a freak-off involving Cassie, and Diddy reportedly paid $5 million to suppress the tape. All right. And have y'all seen that Jonathan Odie dude? He looks gross. Okay? They don't even have good taste. But I cannot project because me, Cassie, and Diddy, we're totally different. They just have more money than me, but they don't have more class than me. Okay? They don't have better taste than me. Okay? They don't have more values and morals than me. Okay? Hollywood individuals, they're very high. It's the reason why people call them Hollyweird. Okay? But let's continue on. And he don't even look like, I mean, my idea of a, I guess, sex worker, I would think you'd be very attractive, like drop dead gorgeous, but I don't know anything about that type of industry. And I guess, people that sell themselves and sell their body, they come in all different sizes and shapes, and some are attractive, some are ugly. I just thought they'd be so good looking, but clearly that's not the case. So anyway, that is what they're saying. They're saying that Jonathan Odie dude, he filmed them secretly involving Cassie, and Diddy paid him $5 million to suppress it. Diddy got a lot of money just throwing shit out there. I feel like, Diddy, you shouldn't have been doing that anyway with the fucking sex worker. I mean, what do you expect from a prostitute? Do you expect them to have high morals and high values? He's a crook. He's there for the money. I cannot trust a prostitute because I believe that they're going to do whatever they're going to do for money. Like Jonathan Odie, he secretly recorded them to blackmail them to get $5 million. I mean, he's a scammer. Most prostitutes are scammers. Scammers and prostitution, and they all run together. They all run together. Criminals, they all run together. So I don't feel bad for Diddy and Cassie with that guy, because you should have never been fucking around with him anyway. I mean, you guys don't know him. But that's what you do when you're doing all these freak-offs with random escorts that you're hiring. You take that risk, okay? How do I feel about Jonathan Odie? I don't think what he did was right. But his whole life I probably don't think is right, so I really don't have nothing to say about him. Cassie... Cassie and Diddy, I think you guys are in the same boat with this situation. You guys are messing around with strangers. Why couldn't you just stay with one guy? I mean, why couldn't you just have one guy that you guys go to? That makes more sense than all these random guys that want money, that is money hungry, that you don't know, that be around with so many people. I mean, prostitutes deal with a whole bunch of demonic people. A lot of demonic people, they hire those prostitutes because these prostitutes, they don't have no soul and they're willing to do whatever they can for the dollar, So, I mean, you are getting in bed with someone that probably have done a whole bunch of shit fucking, a whole bunch of boo-boo and do all that shit, But that's on y'all. That's what you sign up for. And of course, you can get with someone that's not a prostitute that do all those things. But hopefully you have discernment, you have good judgment to know the person you're talking to is not into that nefarious things. And if you don't have good judgment, if you don't have good discernment, and you're always going based on your emotions, then you really need to do some soul searching to figure yourself out, to gain more power of awareness, because you lack awareness. When the devil is sitting right next to you and you don't even recognize him, that is something that you have to really deal with in yourself, because this is your life and you can play victim all you want to, but at the end of the day, you're going to suffer. So I don't want you to suffer. So it's just like having a pow. You got to have that protection. If somebody come knocking at your door, God forbid, how are you going to protect yourself? Of course, the robber is wrong for coming in and killing you. But at the end of the day, you could get protection. You can have a pow just in case those situations happen. At least you can protect yourself. So it's all about prevention and protecting yourself, okay? Just like a condom. Now, a condom is not going to help everything, because those bumps, even if you wear a condom, you can still contract it. But that's why people say more or less partners, the more or less risk. As far as Diddy and Cassie concerned, they are very high risk individuals, because they keep on doing these freak offs, and then they doing it with other motherfuckers, and they got a lot of shit going on, man. They are not pro family. They got a lot of shit going on, a lot of wickedness going on. And this is what y'all get when you are into that lifestyle. It does not bear good fruit. This is rotten. It gets wicked out there. But like I said about the condoms, when you put that protection on yourself, you are decreasing the risk of catching some shit, But when you don't, you are putting yourself in harm's way. And when you get something and you've been raw dogging, of course, you don't deserve it. Are you a victim? Yeah, you don't deserve it. But at the same time, you put yourself in harm's way by not engaging in condoms when you're doing these type of high risk activities. So it could be prevented, or you can just sit your ass down. What's so hard about that? Sit down somewhere. Y'all want to be outside every single day. Look what outside is getting y'all. Huh? But anyway, let's keep on going on. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot. It says audio recording of Cassie threatening a man played in court. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this. So Miss Cassie, she got angry and she was threatening people. I don't believe it. They say Cassie is so sweet. Cassie is so innocent. She wouldn't hurt a fly. She don't even raise her voice. She don't even know about yelling. She don't even have it in her. She's such a nun, okay? But they have the video recording, and it says that audio recording Cassie threatened a man played in court. A 2024 audio recording was played where Cassie was threatening to kill a man. Are you serious? I don't believe it. Not my Cassie. Not my sweet Cassie. No, no, no. My Cassie ain't gonna do that because she's sweet, okay, and innocent. And she's a victim. She wouldn't do that. A victim won't do that. But they said that Cassie threatened to kill a man. That's really tough. I've never threatened to kill anybody. But names something, Sue, I can't pronounce his name. It says who claimed to have seen her freaky videos while the defense used to show her aggressive behavior. Stop doing them freaky ass videos. Okay, don't do nothing if you ain't proud about it. That's what they used to tell me. Well, if you ain't proud about it, then don't do it. That's on you. That's what they used to tell me. But I guess that somebody recorded her. Another person recorded her doing some freak-offs with other people. And she's a freak. And and she found out and she left him a voicemail that was really nasty and threatened to kill him. That's serious. I've never threatened to kill someone. Okay, that's very serious. But that's that, it says number 6, Cassie relationship with Chris Brown. What? I know you lying. Cassie relationship with who? What? Chris Brown? After he done did that to Rihanna, she gonna run to Chris Brown another, what? Whew. Okay, Cassie relationship with Chris Brown raised. Defense questioned Cassie about 2013 incident when Diddy allegedly cursed her for cheating with Chris Brown, which led to the police report after he stole her phone. It sounds like she liked bad boys. She liked them bad boys. Okay? Chris Brown has a horrible reputation of beating on women. And she went at him. She allowed him to put that violent D in her after she knows that. She's a victim, all right. All right, so I didn't even know that. Did you guys know that? How do I feel about that? I feel that, okay, Diddy got mad at her for cheating with Chris Brown, and that's why he, I guess, stole her phone. I feel like at this point, Diddy, my advice with you, leave these hoes alone. Men, please leave these hoes alone. Stop getting involved with these hoes, okay? Stop being attached to these hoes. Stop being emotional with these hoes. I think that is just so feminine of him to get mad she cheating. Be a man, Diddy. If that bitch cheating on you, let that hoe go. Stop getting your feelings, okay? Think logical. Leave that hoe alone, replace her with a new hoe, and just act like you don't know her. Block her, stop paying on that apartment and move on. But Men, stop getting involved feelings wise, okay? Because you getting more emotional. You can't control your anger because you don't have emotional intelligence. Now you want to hit the hoe. Now you want to control the hoe. Now your ass gonna be in jail. If you feel like you're getting feelings and you're getting mad over a hoe, leave the hoe alone. It's just simple as that. Be logical. Stop being feminine. Get out your motherfucking feelings, nigga. You a man. Get out your feelings. That's what I have to say to that. And if he would have never gotten his feelings, he wouldn't be in this situation or none of them. He would have just had another hoe. And hopefully you get a hoe that's obedient, you want a slave. Just get you a hoe that like that slave ship mentality. And don't get no fucking celebrity. Okay? Get a hoe that's probably, if I was you, I would get a immigrant hoe. Okay? I get an immigrant hoe that's just happy to be in America and just want to do all the freakoffs with me and just gonna shut the fuck up. I get a hoe that don't even speak English. Shit. Fuck you, me. If I'm Diddy and I just want to use a girl to be with these men, honey, you don't need to speak a lick of English, okay? All right. And she gonna be obedient to you, Diddy. You ain't gonna never have to lay hands on her. You ain't gonna never have to pop her ass. You ain't gonna never have to argue with her. She's just gonna be obedient, sweet. She might even cook for you if you want to, or clean up, you know. But Diddy, he want his cake and eat it too. It's a risky thing. Diddy, why are you doing freak offs with a known celebrity like Cassie? I just think that was a dumbass decision on his part. I just think it's dumb, and he get what he get. Chris Brown, what I gotta say about Chris Brown? I don't know, shit. He. You know, they all whores in Hollywood, you know. They're all freaked out. They all drugged up. I mean, all of them on drugs and freaked out, so I don't expect nothing less from these people. I think it's people that are putting them to like a Christian standard and like, oh my God, that's so wrong. It's how many times people have to tell you that Hollywood are weird people? All of them. But anyway, it says here, Cassie drug use. It says defense tried to discredit Cassie by saying that she has an addiction for drugs, including, cocaine. She be on a lot of shit, y'all. Okay. A lot of people would say, well, Diddy made her into it. Diddy can't make you do shit. She wanted to do it. I want to know, especially for the Christians, if you're not a Christian, you're not religious, this does not apply to you. But when God comes down on Judgment Day, are your excuse going to be like, well, my husband or my boyfriend, he manipulated me to do all this wicked shit. He manipulated me. It ain't my fault. In religion world, that is not going to hold up with God, because God told you to follow a man of God. God told you not to do all this fornication either, but you do what you want to do. Okay, that's just for my religious people. If you're not religious, then it's not for you, because you don't understand how religious people have been raised, okay? So it's not for you. So just shut up about it. Okay, but religious people, feel free. Chime back, okay? So anyway, they said she's a real drug head. When she was away from Diddy and she was at her own place, she was doing drugs. When she was away from Diddy and Diddy was nowhere in sight, she was on them drugs, partying with different motherfuckers. Okay, she loved them shit. A lot of people in Hollywood do. They said Chris Brown on that shit. They say most of them are on that shit. Terrence Howard even said a lot of Hollywood people on that shit. So I'm not surprised she's Hollywood and she want to be down with the Hollywood individuals. I'm not surprised. Okay, I'd be surprised if Tyler Perry was on that shit, right? I'd be like, damn, Tyler Perry on that shit? But maybe. Then again, I may not be surprised. Okay, so it says Diddy alleged rehab story discredit. Cassie refuted the defense claim that Diddy attended the rehab in Arizona, calling it a lie and revealing she never saw him undergo treatment. Okay. All right. Diddy control and jealous exposed. Cassie testified that Diddy violent outbursts were fueled by jealous and paranoia involving an incident where he accused her of cheating with an NFL player. That's what I'm saying. Stop. See, he gay. All this feminine energy, being jealous over a hoe. Let that shit go, dog. Even if it's the hoe is your wife, if she cheating on you, if she want to be with other men, let that hoe go. Stop getting your feelings, homie. Okay? Damn, your ass gonna end up in bars putting whole hands on a hoe because you think she yours. Clearly, she ain't yours. She for the motherfucking streets. She made that choice when she sucking on other men D. Leave these hoes alone. I mean, it's just as simple as that. And if you don't leave these hoes alone, then you get what you get. That's how I feel about it. Shit. Soon as you start getting in your feelings and you want to hit a hoe, leave the hoe alone. You don't even got to go back and forth with the hoe. Block that bitch. Block. Damn, he just ghosted me. Blocked. You don't need to have no explanation. You don't need to have no fucking closure. That's for weak motherfuckers. Block and move on. Period. Okay. Y'all need me to give y'all lessons on that? I can and I will. I can and I will. It's about protecting your peace, not anybody else. It's about preventing you from going to jail or preventing you from hurting somebody. You know what I'm saying? Got me sharing a little tear. Okay? My allergies, girl. All right. So Cassie still has mixed emotions about Diddy. Despite the allegations, Cassie admitted in court that she does not hate Diddy and has love for their past, in a statement that may impact the jury perception. Child, she loved the roller coaster. That's all that was. He gave her moments and experiences that they love. They still, I'm not convinced they love each other. They don't love themselves. They love that lifestyle. They like that ride or die. They like that hip hop, nefarious lifestyle. They had a good time with it, and that's just what it was. Comment, like, subscribe to this YouTube channel, The Messy Sweet Spot, and I will see you guys on another video. Bye.